But before we get any further into the video, I just want to show you guys this new app that I've been checking out called Amino. So Amino is a place where you can just really get excited and obsess over a passion that you have with other people that have the same common interest. And so I've really just been checking in on the Rubik's Cube community like pretty much every day. So you have a bunch of chats in this group where you can just see what topics people are talking about. Like we have a Megaminx chat, an FMC chat, a public Let's Race chat, and so you can just hang out with other people, talk about like solving and stuff like that, and just all the different events. And so there are just a bunch of topics here, which I think is just perfect, just to talk about anything Rubik's Cube related. And you can also just follow the latest feed and just see what other people in the community are up to. I do check up on this app pretty much every day, and so feel free to download the app and add me and chat with me anytime. My username on here is just TCCubes. So we recently hit 30,000 subscribers, and so I will definitely be having a giveaway for that. And so I have a poll up on here in regards to the prizes, and what I want you guys to do is just download the app and just vote on the poll telling me what you guys want as a prize. So I'll have the download links for iOS and Android in the description and comments down below. So download the app, vote on the poll, or chat with me anytime, and just let me know your thoughts. Alright, so we know that with the new year comes with a bunch of new Speedcube releases, so here are my mains at the start of 2019. Alright, so starting off with the 2x2, we have the Senhuan Zhanglang M, and this one just works really well for me. I especially love the feeling of it. It's so smooth and extremely buttery feeling, and I can just really spam TPS on it, which I personally really like for 2x2, and so just overall, it works well for me. And so this 3x3 has been with me for a little over a year now, and it's pretty much been my main since the day I got it. It's the Cosmic GTS 2M. And when the Bulk Power and 354 were released, I was playing around with those as my mains, but I just found myself coming back to this cube. It's just really reliable. I love the feeling of it. It's so smooth, and it's really fast even after all this time of me using it. So I just really love the Cosmic service on this. And Speedcubes just does a really great job with their cubes, and so I may be in need of a fresh new one, considering that I've been using this one so much, but nonetheless it still has done really well for me, and I still really love the feeling of it. For 4x4, I use a considerably new release. This one is the Mini Wuchui M, and the size just works way better for me than a 62mm. It's a lot easier for me to just control and grasp this puzzle. And the speed of this is actually more on the sluggish and controllable side. So I will have to play around with the spring compression mod and see how that speeds up this cube. But regardless, I still get some really great times on this, and it works well for me. Alright, so 5x5 is also a pretty new one as well. Before this, I was using the Cosmic Wuchuang M for the longest time. But this one has since changed me. This one is the Aochuang GTS M from OU. Just everything about it I just really love. The feeling is so smooth and buttery. The size and the speed and the magnets suit this puzzle really well. And yeah, just everything about it suits my turning style and my preferences. Alright, so for 6x6, I use the Weishi GTS M, and I was debating between using this or the X-Men Shadow M, but I found that this one was just a lot more reliable and consistent. The Shadow M just has a lot of problems with the uneven speed between the layers, but this one, the speed is really consistent throughout, and it just works really well for me in a solving situation. And I remember back when good 6x6s were hard to come by, but I think nowadays we are getting there. We're getting Speedcubes that are as good as the new 3x3 releases. So I'm looking forward to what the new year of 2019 has to bring. But as of now, I am definitely really happy with the Weishi GTS M. Alright, so 7x7, this one is also a pretty long-standing main. This one is the Cosmic Wuji M, and since I have been using it for so long and so often, it is kind of breaking down, so I will have to look into a new 7x7 main soon. And the reason why I haven't tried the Haze 7M yet is because I heard that there were a lot of manufacturing and factory issues with that puzzle in production. But I think those issues might have been fixed by now, so I will have to look into it. But for now, the Wuji M does do really well for me. I love the speed, and I love the feeling, and it just suits my turning style. Alright, so for Cube, I use a pretty unpopular choice. This one is the Cyclone Boys Magnetic Cube. And if you've seen my unboxing on it, you'll know that I was just extremely blown away by its performance. And by no means am I good or even at a professional level with Cube, but I just really love the feeling of it. The speed is great. The feeling I just really enjoy, and it just overall works well for me. So I know the Aoyan M just got released, and that one does have a bunch of cool new features to it, but I'll be getting into that in the coming weeks. But for now, I just really love the Cyclone Boys, and I personally do think that it is kind of underrated. Alright, so I don't actually do OH, but when I do solve it once in a while, I go for the Cubing Classroom 50mm 3x3. And this one has been my main for quite some time as well. But yeah, it's just really consistent. It has a great speed. It's pretty reliable. So yeah, it just works well for me. Alright, so for square one, I also use a pretty unpopular choice. This one is a magnetic supernova cubing classroom. And even though it is meant to be a budget cube, I just really love the feeling of this one. It's so smooth and buttery, and it has a really nice speed to it. It's super fast, but still controllable with the magnets in it. So even if you have something super fancy like the Volt M, I do recommend giving this one a shot. So I don't know how I forgot this, but I did, and that is my Megaminx main. So for Megaminx, I use the Galaxy V2M, the original smaller size. I know that they did just release a larger version of this, which supposedly does feel different, which I might be looking into, because I do notice that this one tends to be a little more sluggish and controllable. It may just be the magnets not being well suited for the size of this puzzle, but regardless, I don't do Megaminx often, nor do I solve it well, so this one does work perfectly fine for me. Alright, so Pyraminx is also a pretty long-standing main. This one is the X-Man Bell. And for someone like me who doesn't really do Pyraminx often and is just really bad at it, the stronger magnets in this puzzle just really helps with the stability and controllability. Alright, so for clock, I use a magnetic link out, and this one I magnetized myself, which I think turned out pretty okay. But yeah, this one is pretty much your best option for the event right now. But I know that some companies were toying around with the idea of producing a factory magnetic clock, so I am really excited to see what 2019 has to offer. Alright, so these are my mains at the start of 2019, and I'm curious to see if any of these change over the course of the new year. But if you have any questions at all, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.